ultimately, ultimately, the people who don't have the best interests of the community is really shouldn't be considered community leaders ultimately. But who are the heroes? So if those individuals are not the heroes, who are?
Well, you can start with the one I just mentioned, or you can go on the internet and in YouTube and type in Black millionaires, and you'll find a whole bunch of them. So it takes commitment and research, but there's plenty. Booker T. Washington, you know what I'm saying? From the 1800s, some of our black lawmakers. It's so many. You just have to take the time and the research to actually dig in there. So that's just to answer your question. Your question.
I mean, it
Even
wasn't
like
okay.
even
So
I would say even like with the president, the first president was actually a black man, but they won't share that history with people.
no, I'm not saying that we don't have heroes, right? I'm saying once we decide, once you discern, okay, for instance, Booker T. Washington, great example. There are a host of people who don't believe that Booker T. Washington was a hero, in the same way that you feel that Larry Hoover wasn't a hero. And then you have some people who believe that he is, right? I mean, you have to be completely honest when we start picking out heroes. That we rarely pick out a hero that is a hero to everyone within our community. And the real reason is because that the facts are that they were heroes to some people and they were not heroes to others. And we talking about popularity and not necessarily effectiveness. I mean, I wouldn't say, and I know that you're not saying this, that just because a person is a millionaire that makes them a hero, because then those people that you just said was not a hero would be heroes. So what is a hero? Because the culture of a people is wrapped around who they consider heroes. The culture of all people is wrapped around who they consider their heroes to be. So can we come up with a hero? Can you come up with a person that is a hero to all the people that all black people? Let's start with something small.
Well, Mark, before you came to the room, Farmer, he touched on some examples of heroes, and Kite also just touched on some examples of heroes. So we definitely got examples of heroes that we all can aspire to look up to and look up to be. That's no doubt. You guys want to reiterate what y'all was saying because he just kind of came in the room?
Well, he gave a rebuttal saying, he gave an answer to saying not all people may consider them. So he tried to, I don't know what his answer, his question. I mean, I don't know if he's trying to be facetious, but I respect his position. It's just that it's kind of weird how he's standing on it. So with all due respect, I don't want to go play into that rabbit hole. But we definitely have heroes in the past. I mentioned a few. The sister brought up the first, I think his name was James Harden or something like that. I think to my knowledge. So we do have heroes in the past. You can type in YouTube and type in African American heroes of our past, and it will give you a long list. But if you don't justify them as heroes because some people may not or whatever, I respect that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to go down that rabbit hole.
That's not It's not a rabbit hole. It's me trying to understand. If you say that, so who is a hero to all black people? That's really, maybe I shouldn't have been so factual. What Who is a hero to all black people? If you know what I mean, like I'm not saying.
That's a good question. I like that question. Def, where you at, Def?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Shadi. Oh
I'm gonna
no,
let, I'm gonna
hold
let
on.
I'm
Go
gonna let
ahead,
the
Def.
speakers. No, I'm gonna let the speakers answer that. I'll wait. He asked a good question, guys. Who are some heroes to blacks that we all can identify with? Let's start naming them.
Well, like I said, the first black president, John Hanson, I look at him as a hero because he was running a whole country like before George Washington. was ever even the picture.
And I look at the whole list. I changed my PTR. I look at that whole list of inventors as heroes. Like the reason why I got to stop at the stops light or the stop sign and shit like that. Yeah, I look at those people as heroes because they saving lives and they ain't even here.
But what makes his question so good and interesting, he's saying because other people might not identify those people as heroes. So he's asking what's something universally that we all can say that's a hero universally.
Black Panther.
Yep.
So far, Mark, we had three people give you an answer. Can you kind of agree with those answers, or you don't agree?
It's not. It's not. I'm not. I'm not. I didn't ask that question for disagreement purposes. I'm just trying to. I guess I'm trying to see who is universally accepted as a. What is the profile of the person who will be considered a universal hero to Black people in this room, right? Because once we step out of this room, it'll change. Somebody's gonna say, "Well, the Black Panthers weren't because of this." You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna say because Hanson, but in this room, can who would be universally? And then those are the answers. So that's good enough for me. I'm not.
Yeah, I also think all those people who led slave rebellions that we don't talk about, all those people who fought back, the Nat Turners, the Harriet Tubmans, all those people heroes, bro. I don't think even people outside of this room, like I think a lot of people would agree with like all the answers we gave you, bro. But that was a good ass question either way. Appreciate it.
Most definitely. I'm gonna keep opening up what he said too. I think we all can. This is the part of the conversation where we can learn. Now he brought up something real good to the room, guys, and I want y'all to really think about this. Let's name some traits and let's name some attributes that a hero will exhibit.
That was my neck. Hey, bro.
Yeah, I would have.
Now,
In response to the brother's question, if I'm gonna say heroes, I gotta say my dad and my granddad. Um, and I just learned with that. My dad and my granddad, they was community builders. They was there for the family. Um, granddad was like a pastor, so he's like a father to many. Same thing. My dad was like the dad who found all the black sheep cousins and made them feel like they was part of the family, made them feel lit. Um, I'm trying to think other good things. They were leaders amongst men. A lot of men looked at them, respected them. Women were protected around them and taken care of. Things like that.
but when the hero be, and I'm not, and I shouldn't have said, but I apologize for that. Generally, heroes are people who overcome overwhelming adversity and show principles and traits and you know come through the darkness. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah, I
over.
agree. And so
I'm not.
why I would put my father.
I'm
That's
not.
why I think that it's closer than what we think. And I don't think it has to be as dramatic as that. But like, my pops came back from death row. My granddad was an alcoholic, and like these are things that most people just die to or just become jesters in the community. To go from that to leaders is hella impressive. And then also pay for your crimes. Um, I think that we got to start looking at superheroes as the people in our household first before we look outside of our household. That's kind of the problem of our community. We looking outside of our community for heroes, and we're looking outside of reality sometimes for our heroes. Like we got to be able to touch our heroes, be able to learn and get some gems off of our heroes. So I think that the hero got to be a little closer than some of these people who would think about that we didn't even live in the same time and things. Yeah, we respect and give honor to what they did, but I think it's more respectful to give honor to those that are like closer. Some of us still have our parents living, and we don't consider them heroes. And it would be crazy that we in here nine deep and no one mentioned their parents.
Yeah. So we were thinking about well we were talking. Well, from what I'm just coming in here, we were talking about drug dealers and how we were matching up people like Larry Hoover. So we had to find people who were at that level in order to show you the contrast, right? So it wasn't that we forgot about Nana, right? We never gonna forget about Nana and Granddaddy and our fathers. It was just matching up, right? Because let me tell you. So I watched this movie, man, called The Counselor. Really good movie, right? And it's and it's funny because it's about drugs, right? And it was this Jewish dude. He was a jeweler, and the guy who was the counselor was a lawyer. He went to speak to him. He was buying some jewelry for his wife. It was this really deep conversation. They went back and forth. And the Jewish dude, older guy, he explained, man, that a culture is really it's really the foundation of culture is really about heroes, right? I listened to this thing 50, 100 times, man, and I started to see. So I really do understand why we challenging this concept of drug dealers being heroes, because look at the people that evolved from raising drug dealers up. Look at some of the degeneracy that we're dealing with today is based on how we view who we consider heroes and how we interact with them. And then we got to say, and I got to put this on the table, when we allow the other people to choose our leaders or to destroy the memory of our heroes, that's a different kind of war that's taking place. We don't even see the depth of. Somebody mentioned alchemy, bro. I don't even know if there's a deeper alchemy than waiting until somebody is dying is dead, a person who was a hero, then coming up with information about him that can't be verified to say that he was a bad person. That is a spiritual warfare, man. That's dealing with the basic metaphysics of the culture of a people that we don't see, and we buy into it. They got all this information about Martin Luther King now. They got all this information about Malcolm X now. They got all this information about Marcus Garvey now. They got all this information about, bro. This is a different level of spiritual warfare, and we got to stop buying into it. Because one of the reasons that a distant hero is so, because we get to believe what we want to believe, and it's the belief in that hero that gives us that that makes us heroes too, right? To overcome that same difficulty that we believe that they overcame. What happens when someone says, you know what, this is what really happened? She wasn't this type of person. She was actually she was a spy for the for the Union Army. She worked for us. She didn't do this out of the kindness of her heart. She was taking commands from this white general. We're not seeing the deep battle that's taking place.
But
Can
the
I say something
bigger
really
oh,
quick,
you got
Farmer?
another.
Yeah, yeah, go
So
ahead.
what I wanted to say was that that question was very subjective because if you think about it, in if you if you if you refer to yourself, I'm pretty sure there's some people that know you as like a certain person and hold you like at um, a high a high regard, and then there's some people that like you're the villain in their story. So it's just like all a matter of like